Hello and welcome to another edition of The Watchers. I'm Rhys Jones.
And I'm Terence Edwards.
First up, here's the news. Michael Bay will direct the fourth movie in the Transformers franchise. A press release by Paramount Pictures confirmed Bay's involvement and gave a provisional release date of June 29th, 2014. However, it seems likely that there will be a new cast involved, as neither Shia LaBeouf nor Rosie Huntington-Whiteley are expected to reprise their roles.
Tributes have been paid to Irish character actor David Kelly, who sadly passed away at the age of 82. Kelly was perhaps best known for playing Grandpa Joe in Tim Burton's version of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, but he also appeared in Stardust, The Calcium Kid and Waking Ned.
2 comic book movie sequels have found their directors. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Red 2 will be directed by Dean Parisot, who also directed Galaxy Quest, whilst Game of Thrones' Alan Taylor will take over directing duties on 4-2. Both films are due for release in 2013.
At the Writers Guild Awards, Woody Allen took Best Original Screenplay for Midnight in Paris, whilst The Descendants took the Best Adapted Screenplay Award. Both films are nominated in their respective categories at this year's Oscars.
And finally, in an interview with MTV News, writer Simon Kinberg has announced that the sequel to X-Men First Class will focus on the character of Magneto, played by Michael Fassbender. Kinberg states that Magneto will not become a full-on villain, but audiences will be afraid of him. Matthew Vaughn will direct the sequel.
Would you look at that? We are the Muppets.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. And these are our biggest fans.
Yeah!
You guys are so talented.
Check it out. Fart shoes.
The biggest event in Hollywood history.
The Muppets Spectacular!
That is awesome.
There's just one problem. Step 1.
Are you one of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Yes, I am.
Tour the world.
We should travel by map
To Paris!
Step 2. Rehearse the show.
I'm doing a duet with my new dance partner.
Hola.
Let's try that lift again, shall we?
Hey, the lift again. Okay, on my count this time, okay? In 3, 2, ready!
Step, final.
I believe in you and you and you and, well, all of you.
Aww.
And now, singing chickens.
Make the most sensitive, distinguished,
Prepare yourselves for head bowling.
What? I have not signed off on this.
celebrity-filled, and sophisticated Muppet movie ever made. Ever.
Have a seat.
Thank you.
I think I'll stand.
Comfy.
The Muppets.
Say move it. Say move it.
So we just came out of the cinema, just seen The Muppets. Tez.
Yeah. I have to be honest, I have not laughed that much, that loudly and that frequently in a cinema since probably South Park, the movie.
That long.
It was absolutely hilarious.
I couldn't stop laughing all the way through, just outward, proper belly laugh.
And that's the
every
thing,
every couple. It was like after one, after one, after one. Just
and it's not the kind of thing where you can just kind of have a sly kind of, slight chuckle or a little kind of internal laugh. It is a big belly laugh kind of film, and I absolutely loved it.
I adored it more than loved it. I could hug it, marry it, settle down with it. It was just such an amazing movie. It just made me feel so glowing. I'm glowing, you know, not gushing, I'm just glowing. It's such a cliche, but that is like the top of all I've seen in ages of a happy feel movie, you know?
That is it's a real feel-good movie. I mean, if you don't come out of there feeling as if your faith in humanity is ever so slightly restored, or just kind of feeling good about what you've seen, you have a heart of stone.
Indeed, for me, it was like the family movie equivalent of Rocky Balboa, where a classic great from cinema in the last 30 years has come back and put themselves back on the celluloid screen and just sold it. It was just fantastic to watch. It was like literally I was cheering those champs on, those little Muppets. They were amazing. The film was well written, well directed. It was just every part of it, the choreography, the dance numbers, the songs were not insipid, but yet just added to the humour. They were just part of the whole comedy process. For me, it was just a success all round.
And the good thing is, it's pitched it absolutely perfectly, because it is a pure family movie. Because the kids will swept along with the singing, dancing, you know, kind of the brightly coloured Muppets, you know, and really falling in love with them. But there's a lot of very kind of slightly postmodern, slightly kind of out there humour for the adults. You know, there are various little digs about plot exposition or the best way to travel. You know, the most funny one is picking up the rest of the team in a montage.
Yeah.
You know, and then suddenly by the end of it, they're all in the car.
And it was, didn't it?
Really
It through movie knowledge, actually.
Yeah, it did. But it never felt gimmicky. It never felt like it was being trying too hard. It was just there. Jason Segel, Amy Adams, really, really lovely as the couple, Gary and Mary. Chris Cooper, what a great performance. He plays the bad guy. He plays the oil baron who just wants to demolish the Muppets to get to the oil. And it's a real pantomime boom hiss kind of performance. But he never overplays it. And I love the fact that he can't do a maniacal laugh.
Yeah.
So whenever you would normally have the nefarious plans being thing, and then, you know, the villain would burst into this loud, exactly that kind of thing. He can't do it, so he just goes maniacal laugh. And I really like that. You know, very, very, very silly, very funny. The celebrity cameos, my God, they must have been lining up around the block just to get into the film. But it's the Muppet that is the Muppets, the
classic movies from 30 years ago.
Yeah.
They have the Muppet movie, the Muppet Caper, all the Manhattan one, all the same, you know.
And the same with the TV show, and it was back on there. You know, you had the stars of the day.
Yeah.
Really, just queuing up to go on it, and you know, kind of take the rise. I mean, you've got people from, you know, Mickey Rooney is in there, Whoopi Goldberg, right up to people like Emily Blunt, John Krasinski, and a wonderful, absolutely genius cameo by Jim Parsons.
In my head, I know what stars I'm going to give this film. What are you going to give?
I am going to give it 5.
It gets full 5 from me. This movie gets a full thumbs up, seal of approval from the watchers. This film is a must-have on your shelf when it comes out on DVD and Blu-ray.
A bit slim pickings this time of the year, you know, when it comes to films coming out.
That's true. It is that time of year where studios try and sneakily put out a film they're a little bit worried about because they know they will get bums in seats.
Yeah.
Now then, I went and watched Ghost Rider: The Spirit of Vengeance. Again, stars Nicolas Cage in the title role. Now, the first film, I don't want to give anything away because we will be talking about comic book movies in a couple of episodes' time. Yeah. Me and Tez completely agree that Ghost Rider is one of the worst top 10 comic book movies
one of the worst comic book adaptations I've had the misfortune.
So you have to ask yourself, why would I go watch a sequel?
Yeah, why would you go and see it?
Because I was bored on a Sunday night. It's that simple.
That's fair enough.
So basically, in this one, there is a Antichrist child, and the demon devil himself has a chance to walk the earth if he takes over the child's body. So that's basically the story. Okay. It's very basic, you know, horror kind of story. It's from the directors of Crank and Gamer. This film at the cinema I went to is only available in 3D. Not one shot of any 3D-ness was impressive. Oh dear. There was not even any real increase in depth of field that you get from some bad 3D movies. There was nothing at all other than they were basically putting the ticket price up and ripping off fans. Now, Nicolas Cage on this film was fantastic in the role. He really was a guy in turmoil. He really was, you could tell he was possessed and he didn't want it. And the directors have really been saying that this is a prequel. It's half reboot, half sequel. It's the same original cast member in the role. But what they've cleverly done is they haven't ignored what happened in the first film. But what they've done is they've just set it aside and gone, that was how he became Ghost Rider. Now we're going to do a new adventure. The other good thing about this film is the cast that surrounds him. Brilliant Idris Elba in a supporting role, who's a fantastic kind of cast-out monk, but he still works for a religious order. Great moments with the villain. The devil is played by Kieran Hines.
Good actor.
He doesn't camp it up, he doesn't go overboard, he is genuinely villainous. He raises this film up because the villain is worthy.
Right.
You know, the film has a worthy villain.
That's unusual.
What also is great is there's these two little cameo roles that are played by Anthony Hedders and Buffy Giles. He plays a head monk of an order,
right,
who turns up in the beginning of the film, and you instantly know he's important because he's played by Giles.
Yeah,
you know, so he's just there. There's another cameo that I didn't even know this guy was in it, but Christopher Lambert is in it.
Really?
The Highlander himself is in this film, and again, there was a little bad moment where his character has a fight scene and he happens to have a sword.
Ah, right, okay.
So the Highlander was in
it.
But yeah, apart from that, that was good. The storyline, like I said, is average. The action scenes are well made, well thought out. You know, the CG in this one is more believable, as believable can be for a flaming skull on a guy. But the bad points are the 3D is awful. The script needed a lot more work to get it punchy.
Right.
Unfortunately, all the way through the film, thinking the style palette of this film is literally ripping off the Blade movies.
Right.
And then it was at the end, because I didn't know who wrote it, that David S. Goya's name came up. The guy behind Blade and the new Batman trilogy writer is on this. But then I noticed another thing with the titles. Don't be fooled, it's not written by him. He wrote the first draft. Another two guys came on because he got some credit as and on the script writing and then story afterwards. So yes, it's a half-mixed film. I enjoyed it for what it was. It's not going to be blow anyone's mind on brilliance, but at the same time, it's not terrible. So I'm going to say it's middle ground, moderate fodder. So I'm going to be fair, and the first time I'm just going to be very fair and give it 2.5 out of 5.
That sounds absolutely fair to me.
As you all know, Tez is the main Oscar fan. I am not. So Tez, the Oscars this year.
The Artist was one of the big winners of the night. It won Best Score, Best Costume Design, Best Actor for Jean Dujardin, Best Director, and it scooped the Academy's top prize as well, Best Motion Picture of the Year. Not to be outdone, Hugo also picked up 5 awards, but they were all in the technical category. Things like visual effects, sound editing, sound mixing, you know, and rightly so. It's because technically Hugo's a brilliant film. It shares something in common with The Artist, which I don't think a lot of people know, is it's in praise of the movies. You know, other winners, you know, Octavia Spencer won Best Supporting Actress for The Help, Christopher Plummer won Best Supporting Actor for Beginners, making him the oldest Oscar winner at the age of 82. Iranian film A Separation won Best Foreign Language Film. You had the fantastic song from the Muppets, Man or Muppet, picking up Best Original Song, which was nothing short of a joy. Midnight in Paris won Best Original Screenplay, and The Descendants won Best Adapted Screenplay. And Rango, which is quirky beyond belief but a wonderful film, was Best Animated Feature. You know, a good all-round ceremony.
Well, there we go then. So that was Tez's roundup, his highlights of the Oscars. If you want to listen to our full Oscars chat, you can find it on our podcast sites.